What's up, everybody? This is Coach Nathan Barbosa with PhysioFix Training. I'm here at Greater Than Performance and Rehab in Dallas, Texas, my home base for all things functional range conditioning, mobility, and personal training. The video we're going to be covering today is going to be a pails and rails sequence for deep straddle and or the pancake stretch. This is kind of a prerequisite movement to that. Also a way to progress sticking points within that. If you're somebody who goes through straddle with sticky hips, pinchy hips, nasty hips, stuff like that, give this a shot, see how it goes. You will need 2 kettlebells for this movement and this exercise. So we have those 2 kettlebells right here. If your hips get excessively pinchy when you sit in a straddle, specifically kind of pinch up here in the front, then I suggest you sit on a yoga block and or do this from a bench, so your feet are going to be kind of like down and out in front of you. Do it from there, see how it goes. So from here we'll go ahead and get right into it. We're going to sit, back up a bit so y'all can see this. We're going to sit in straddle, nice and wide, as far as you can get. Mine is not great. Do not use this as an ideal example. This is just me and where I'm at. So we're going to get to our natural end range here. We're going to take a kettlebell, put one at one ankle, and then put one at the other. So the kettlebells are pinning our legs out. We're gonna crawl the legs out a bit more, so the kettlebells help us find our stretch. And this is where we sit. From here we sit nice and tall. We attempt to keep the spine as neutral as possible. Specifically, we're not letting the lower back round. I want you guys to think belly button up and forward while you're sitting here. So from here, we stretch. We sit here for 1 to 2 minutes at the very least. If you're somebody who is incredibly tight in this position, I suggest you set aside a few days a week where you sit here for upwards of 5, if not 10 minutes at a time. So we sit in the stretch, 1 to 2 minutes at minimum. From here, we begin our pails contraction. So pails is the progressive angle, basically meaning the opening angle, the stretching angle. So we're trying to open here, so our pails will be to flex into that angle. So we will squeeze into the kettlebells. So we root into the ground, we brace the core, we irradiate and produce tension through our entire body. Flex every muscle, point the toes if you want to, everything's nice and strong. And then we attempt to use the inner thighs and squeeze into the kettlebells. You'll feel this tighten up all the way to your groin. You want to make sure you stay very lifted through the chest with that same belly button up and forward cue. You should feel this deep in the groin, all through the middle of the thighs, maybe even into the knees. You'll start at a low effort and you'll ramp all the way up to your safest, greatest effort. 1, you shouldn't move the kettlebells, and 2, it shouldn't cause pain. From here, after about 20 to 30 seconds of this pails contractions, we reverse it into our rails contraction, and we try to pull off the kettlebells. Don't lift up, just pull out. And we attempt to widen our legs as far as they can go. You can see I immediately start shaking as I produce this effort, and this is normal. And you're gonna fight this opening with everything you've got. You're still rooting into the ground. If you want to make it harder, you can sit up like I was just doing. But I'm going to root. We're going to keep trying to pull open, flex the butt super hard. Again, fighting for 20 to 30 seconds, constantly working harder and harder. And then you relax back into your stretch. After you've taken a couple breaths to resettle back into your stretch, you're going to take your kettlebell. You're going to try to walk your foot out a tad bit more. And we're gonna pin ourselves just that much deeper into our stretch, and then you go through for round 2. Same concept. Stretch for 1 to 2 minutes, brace, lengthen the spine, brace the body, irradiate tension, squeeze in lightly, and then ramp up to your safest, greatest effort, and then try to rip the legs open, squeezing the butt, cranking wider. And then stretch, relax. Follow this up with some hip cars, follow this up with some lift-offs, and challenge yourself. And that is our straddle, pails, and rails hip opener. So thanks for watching, guys. Let me know if you have any questions, and be sure to subscribe so you can see all my content as it comes up. Thanks, and y'all have a great one.